Your favorite Tara Little Bacon Bear hanging out with Brown Sugar Productions.
Hey.
You have a name that is fun to say. Do you know that?
Yes, I actually do.
There are
I mean,
names.
people didn't like it at first.
What's not to like about
Right.
Brown Sugar? What's not to like about it?
I don't know. At first, people was like, ooh, brown sugar, that's weird. But I always knew I was like, okay, you ain't gonna like it now, but you're gonna be liking it eventually.
Well,
And
they
now
always had.
everybody loves it. They don't even know my real name.
That's not important. Brown Sugar is what's important. So
Right.
tell me about the start of production. I won't pretend as if I've never met you in real life or anything like that, but I've definitely seen you in action and you be really getting to it. So I'm glad that we're in this space. But tell me about production and when you got started in this specifically.
Uh-huh. So I started when I was around 13. I used to be with my dad a lot in the studio when I was like 4 or 5. He was in a rap group, and I would just be in there, like not even paying attention, just being a kid. But I remember always walking in the studio and remembering this different atmosphere, and the walls was painted black, and it was signatures on the walls. Then I remember walking in the booth, and something would happen with my ears. So I just kind of was like, "This is cool," and I kind of just grew up and honestly, I remember one day at school, I was in like the fifth grade, and my teacher asked us, they was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And something just clicked in my head. Like, I swear, I didn't even know I was saying it. I was like, I think I want to be a music producer. And I told my dad, and it was like he believed it way before I believed it. It was like he knew exactly what I was saying. He bought me a $1,300 keyboard from Chuck Levins, and the rest was history. I just started making beats on the keyboard. I got like 300 beats on that keyboard to this day. And I just took it and ran with it. And I just felt that it was like my purpose. Like I was blessed to kind of understand my purpose at a younger age and not having to go through life a little bit more to try to figure it out. God kind of just told me, this is it. Music production, female music producer in a male dominated industry. Let's do it.
Well, on the obviously, I feel like people for me as a DJ, people be like, let's talk about the male dominated industry and what it's like being a woman. Well, first off, it's just tough being a musician or it's tough being a creative in any space. But being a woman, I do think makes it a special experience. And how do you think that that's unique to you?
Yeah, I think it's very unique because with it being male dominated, like we're coming across as if our voice isn't important. Like it's not important to listen to me because I'm the only female in the room. You know what I mean? Or they see other men, so when they see a female, they're like, "Oh, she don't know what she's talking about." I think it's very important for us when we are in this industry to know our P's and Q's about everything there is to know. So when we walking in these rooms with all these men in the room, we know what we're talking about. We stand firm on what we're saying, and we're making them respect us and respect our voices.
Give me some insight on providing boundaries in that space to like a girl that's having to walk into that space. Cause just like you, I've been a woman that has walked into the room with all gangsters. It's 11 niggas in this room and now it's just me. And it's like, hey, here to do my
Yeah.
part too, and you just hope that they lead you with respect. But what advice would you offer to a young woman or another woman that is just walking into this space about like creating boundaries and about like establishing your space when you get there?
Yeah. I think it's important when you walking in the room without even saying it, let it be known why you're there. You know what I mean? Because all the times it's women in the room, but most of the time they're not doing music. They just there just with the guy or they just chilling. But if you're doing music when you coming in, let your voice be heard, say something, stand up, let it be known that you there to do music. Like for me, I woke up like, what's up? I got some beats. What's going on? What's up? You know what I mean? Like just be open with it. They be like, oh, you got beats. Play the beats. Let it be known I'm here for business. This is what I'm here to do. And when you do that and just be vocal, you know what I mean? It'll be easier like that.
No, you're right on the money on that. Just like establishing, and that's just a good habit in general as an artist. Like when you're coming into a room, just making sure you're introducing yourself to everybody in the room, that everybody knows what you hear and what you about, and that eases everybody, so there's no confusion.
Right. Exactly.
So there's that on that. But KYS versus Win, that was spectacular. I cannot even lie. Came off a little clunky at first, but you pulled that off flawlessly.
That was crazy, man. Like when you first gave me the opportunity, I was like, I don't know if I like competition, but I was like, nah, this is an opportunity. I was like, this is an opportunity. Anything that I do, I go hard with it. So I was like, look, I need all my supporters to tap in. And I knew I had supporters, but when I started having my family call from North Carolina, and I was like, damn, like this is crazy. And then even the last one on the fifth one, we got all the votes. Like it was like 20, 30. I was so shocked.
I just pick up the phone. I just answer the phone. But that was definitely wild. I was like, well.
That was crazy. I was not expecting it to go down like that. I thought he was going to at least get a couple in, but man, it was all of the votes. I was like, God is great. This is crazy. So it was an amazing experience. I'll never forget that.
I'm glad. I could feel your excitement of both your fan base, but then also the last vote, I think you said was your grandma. And your grandma, she was like on 10. She took it up.
Yeah, shout out to my grandma Gwen, man. It was just crazy how she was the last one too. Like I noticed, I was like, damn it, she's the last voice. And then you responded to her, and I was like, baby, they don't even really be responding back. I was like, that just took me there.
I really do this radio remix thing. I'm like an engineer of some sort, but
yeah, that really took me there. I was like, wow. I will never forget that.
I'm glad. And I love to see your reel and all the content that you put towards this. Obviously, you also shared this win with T Lyric. What is the production process like for you guys in that space? And what is she like in this process?
Mm-hmm. First of all, shout out to T Lyric. She is an amazing songwriter. She has an amazing voice. Me and her connected a while ago at a studio, and we kind of had just reconnected last year, just doing different writing sessions. But we were in the studio. I had a project that I wanted to do, and I already dropped it. Seasonal Love Language, I dropped in December. But I was like, you know what? I want a song on this project. And I was already working with her, I already loved her voice and her pen. So I was like, let me call her up and let her know I got this track. I want her to hop on it. I want us to put it out. And she was excited. She was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we sat in the studio. I was playing the beat. She was writing. She was vibing to it. I was listening to the words she was saying. Then she said holidays in Rio. And then she put it in the verse somewhere. And I was like, that's the title. That's the name of the song, Holidays in Rio. She was like, oh, all right, let's do it like that. Certain words I kind of just jumped in, gave my input in. But she's an amazing writer. Just being in the room with her and just seeing her write. And then I'm trying to get into songwriting. So she allows me to input certain words and change certain things and alter certain things. So we have a great chemistry in the studio for sure.
Talk to me about chemistry in the studio as it pertains to like working with artists that you don't know nearly as well. What is that like?
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you even offer to somebody walking into that space too?
Yeah, I think it's important to catch a vibe before you get into the music. I mean, y'all probably will already know y'all both dope with music, but on a personal level, it's important to connect, because if you don't do that and then you're just getting in and you're just focused on that, it may not come out the best way. Y'all got to be comfortable with each other. Like y'all both got to just let loose and be like, okay, I'm comfortable working with this person. I know they're not going to judge me. They're going to get their input, but it's just going to be cool. Y'all got to allow each other to just be yourselves, because that's when the music is really going to come out the best way it can. So you got to vibe first. Like some sessions, honestly, my first session with people that I don't know, we probably would talk the whole session. Like, let's figure out what's similar with us. What do we like? What do we don't like? Let's talk. Let's just let's get to know each other first. You know what I mean? And then let's jump in and do the music. That's the best way to go, in my advice.
You're absolutely correct. You got to facilitate good relationships with people, and then you get to the nitty gritty of things. So you're right on that.
Yeah.
Since you just came off of a project, Seasonal Love Language.
Yep, Seasonal Love Language.
We're rolling into spring. How you gonna follow that up?
Oh, me and T got some stuff in the works, man. And then I'm also working with other locals. I'm trying to get me a summer banger, so we working on that right now. Get some summer bangers going on. But then I'm always thinking ahead. So I'm thinking about summer, but I'm also thinking about next fall. So I want something sexy for next fall. Like I'm always ahead of the game. But we definitely gonna drop some crazy stuff for the summertime, some summer vibes.
Dang, come on, vision. I love the vision and I'm along for the ride. I'm here. Like you said, you had votes from North Carolina, maybe even New York, and I know right here in the area, but I also want to provide you the chance to shout out some people that you love and do that kind of thing. So go ahead, do that.
Oh, well, shout out all of my family. First of all, shout out my dad, shout out my granddad. He used to DJ back in the day, so I feel like some of this comes from him as well. Shout out my mom. She's always supportive. She's like a little momager, but she's always there for me. My grandparents, everybody, my aunt Rita, she is an entrepreneur. Ever since I was young, she was the first person to introduce me to entrepreneurship. So shout out to my aunt Sarita. Everybody, man, just my whole family and all of my friends, all of my mentors. Shout out HH Studio. Shout out Mayo over in LA. Man, so many people. Just shout out all my mentors. Shout out JCSU, my college I went to out in Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to y'all because I got my first experiences of the music business there and theory, music theory, and all of that. So shout out to the college. Yeah, all my supporters, all my friends, all my family. Shout out to everybody, man. I love all of y'all for supporting me. I really do.
I love that. I love that you give your love back, and it's totally felt. Where can we support everything that is T Lyric and Brown Sugar Productions? Where can we find you?
We are on all streaming platforms. If you just type in Brown Sugar Productions and T Lyric on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, everywhere. We're all over those platforms. You can also visit my website, brownsugarprod.com. I have my bio in there. You can literally read all about me. You can buy beats on the website. You can see the placements I've done. You can watch all my interviews on there. Everything is on my website. And then everything is on all streaming platforms.
She's efficient. We love to see it. I have nothing for that.
Period.
Like that. We just love to see the efficiency. Well done. Congratulations. DMV and beyond. You can check out this interview on my website too, littlebaconbear.com. Follow me on social media at littlebaconbear. Do! Those are my horns. You can do the honors of introducing your record to the DMV.
Yes, y'all. This is Brown Sugar Productions. Follow me on Instagram at brownsugarprd_. And this is Holidays in Rio featuring T Lyric.